Let's begin on our mat. And if you are on additional padding, like I said, position it under your knees so that you don't have that hard surface under your knees for too long. We will be kneeling quite a bit today. And I'm going to have you come onto your palms as well. So we're lining up here in a tabletop position. Let's spread our fingers wide, root into your palms. Take a deep breath in, look forward. And here, exhale, lift spine, tuck your chin to your chest. We'll do that again. Deep breath in, gaze forward. Exhale, chin to chest, press your palms into the mat. And let's do that a few more times. Move with your own breath. And let's take our knees, take them about as wide as your regularly placed mat. We'll untuck the toes, bring your feet together, send your hips back towards your heels, and I just want you to very gently kind of wiggle here side to side. You're sinking your hips down towards your heels. Relax your neck. You could turn right to left a few times. And let's come down here. So bring your head down lower to the mat. You could bend your elbows, placing then your forehead on your wrists. You could keep the arms long and bring your head down either right onto the floor, or if you have a yoga block or a pillow, some kind of a prop, you could place your forehead on that prop. And come back to your breath right here. Take a deep breath in. Open your mouth and let it out. Deep breath in. And let it out. Let's come back forward. So we're realigning our table. We'll bring the knees back under the hips and hands are under the shoulders. Let's tuck toes under. Okay, so toes are tucked, and we're gonna sit back again towards our heels. So now you're finding some length along the bottom side of your foot. So you're kind of like you're stretching it out like that. So just sink your hips again back towards your heels. Take a deep breath in. And let it out. One more breath here in. And let it out. I'm gonna have you come forward. And we'll be on our belly for just a few minutes. You can leave your additional padding right there. It should be just fine. I'm gonna have you bring your hands forward, place one hand on top of the other, and turn your right cheek to rest on your hand here. I want you to close your eyes. Just allow yourself to be heavy, resting into your mat. Recognize if you are holding on to tension. See if you can let go of that. Let's turn to look forward. Bring hands right outside of the chest. Lightly lift away from the floor. So very, very lightweight in my palms. Okay, I'm really lifting from core strength, not from pressing into my hands. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, bring hands back forward. Let's turn the left cheek to rest on hands. And we're trying to relax right here. Deep breath in. And let it out. Let's turn our gaze back forward, hands outside of the chest. Again, find that small upward lift here, baby cobra. We're light in the hands, engaging through that backside core. Deep breath in. Let it out. We'll bring hands forward. Now we're adding on this time. I'm going to bring you into a half frog. So we're turning towards our left. We'll place the right cheek onto our hands. And we're bringing that left knee out. And I want you to just try to let yourself be heavy. Think about drawing your left hip point down towards the floor. And you can adjust your knee. Give it some help with your hand if you need to. Deep breath in, let it out. So watch a small change from here, okay? So I'm going to keep my left arm bent, and now I'm reaching my right arm out long in front of me. So I'm just walking it out, kind of rooting into my hand out here, maybe crawling it out a little bit further by gripping the floor. So same side, you're going to take your right arm and now start bringing it out towards the right side of your mat. So I'm reaching off, still with a long arm to the right. And I'm going to bring my left hand back underneath my shoulder like I did for baby cobra. And then I'm just going to very lightly press up and rotate. So this is now drawing my right shoulder back. So this is an assisted stretch. And I'm using the floor to assist the stretch, okay? This is a really great place to hold it and to start. You can take it further. I'm not gonna go too far, but you could come right onto your side and hold it here. That's as far as personally I would go. I'm going to go today, but feel it out for yourself. We'll just be here another couple of breaths. All right, so let's kind of unwind here, bringing that left hand firmly back into the floor. We'll take our legs long, turn back onto your belly. Let's extend both arms reaching forward. And you're just resting your chin on the mat. Inhale, draw hands back outside of your chest, right under the shoulders. And exhale. Inhale, let's find that baby cobra. Exhale, we'll come onto our left cheek now, turning to look into the right direction. We'll find that half frog over here. So we're bending that right knee, taking it off towards the right side of the mat. And again, just settling in. Okay, so we'll start getting into our left shoulder. So we're walking the left arm long. I want you to reach it over your head first. Again, you can kind of crawl your fingers a little more forward. Now we're gonna go into that shoulder and chest stretch. So we'll take the arm off towards the left side and we're gonna start to rotate now. So I'm turning towards my right and you could hold it here. If you wanna go deeper, you would just turn more. And I'm gonna hold it right there. All right, last breath here. Carefully roll back onto your belly. Let's take both arms a long stretch and I want you to reach through your toes. So full body stretch from toes all the way up through fingertips. Let's draw hands back and press all the way up and back. Take your knees wide again, toes together and untucked. Sit back towards your heels, child's pose, nice and long. And like we just did, I want you to go ahead and kind of spider crawl your fingers forward a little bit so you find that active reaching underneath your arms and through your lats right here. Deep breath in and let it out. Look towards your hands and start walking them back towards your knees. And we're going to come up to a tall kneeling position and just bring your knees in a little bit. Knees are right underneath the hips here. Inhale, scoop the arms overhead, find a gentle back bend. Exhale, reach out and release hands down to sides. We're taking a low lunge. Let's bring the left foot forward and get grounded into your foot here. Okay, so back toes are untucked and we're just gonna kind of breathe into this. We'll inhale to come back. We'll exhale, we'll press our hip points forward. Nice and slow, we'll inhale, come out of it a little bit. Exhale, hip points reaching forward. So where you'll feel this the most is gonna be in your right hip flexor. Think about reaching that right hip point ahead. Okay, let's do that one more time. We're gonna hold it forward this time. Come forward. So you feel that lengthening through the front of the right hip. Also, we're gonna feel a nice stretch through the glute and hamstring on our left side. You can stay right here. If you'd like, you can take the arms up, come into a gentle back bend. This is low lunge Anjalayasana. We're staying with our breath. Always keep breathing. Let's come to cactus arms. We're bending the elbows, draw them back, spread your fingers, open up your heart. We'll carefully release. I just want you to sit back one more time, find that little re-lengthening, and then let's bring that left knee back to the floor. You can kind of, I call this kneeling walking. You can kneel and walk it out right here. Knees right under the hips. Inhale, big reach up, gentle back bend. Exhale, reach out and down. Let's go to the right side. So carefully bring that right foot forward. Get grounded into your foot here. So what that means is you're not gripping with your toes. You feel really secure in the pad of your foot and then also through that heel of your foot. Let's breathe in, sit back out of it. Exhale, reach your hips forward. do that again. Inhale. Exhale, so we're thinking right here this time, our left hip point. Inhale. And exhale. One more time and we'll hold it forward on this one. Come forward. We'll hold here. Think about reaching forward through that left hip, that nice lengthening here. Some stretch through our right side, glute and hamstring. Always that option to come into back bend, hands overhead. Think about letting your head peek between your arms. Deep breath in and let it out. Let's carefully come back up to tall and we'll come back onto knees here. So I'm going to turn and you can stay where you are or you're welcome to also turn on your mat. We're going to do gate pose, which I don't do very often because I don't like having people kneel for too long without giving them the fair heads up. So hopefully we're all on some extra cushioning. We're gonna keep kneeling here for a while. So gate pose is going to be a nice groin opener, groin stretch. And let's start by taking the left leg off to the side. And we have length in the left leg. Your toes are at an angle, just kind of pointing off at a 45-degree angle. Let's inhale, reach the hands overhead. Exhale, think of this like a kneeling side angle. So extended side angle where we're trying to find length from these top fingers all the way through that reaching leg. So nice long line here. We're rotating open, so looking underneath the top arm. And this right hand is giving you some support. Okay, we're gonna come back to this in a minute. Let's carefully come up. Bring your left hand onto your left leg. Inhale, reach hand overhead. And as you exhale, just slide down your leg. Now we're feeling, of course, that opening on our right side. Looking up and under the right arm. And rotate to open. So that means towards your ceiling, under your arm, not towards the floor. Deep breath in and let it out. So we'll come back up. Let's bring this right hand back to the hip for support and we'll start to angle out. Find that kneeling side angle. I'm going to give some options here. Okay, if you want to get a little bit of core work today, I'm going to have you start to think about getting light in this supportive arm. And then nothing else changes, but reach that bottom arm out towards, probably towards your screen. You can stay right here if that feels like a lot, stay here. If you want a little more challenge, take that arm, bring it parallel to your top arm. Nothing else changes. Stay with your breath. And to come out of this, let's bring hand back to the hip. We'll go right back, kind of counter stretch on the other side. Let's take it right arm up and over. Lean out to your left. Let's carefully come up. We'll bring the knees together right here. So before we go to the other side, let's just warm up our upper body a little bit more. I'm gonna have you inhale, open up your arms, okay? Thumbs are pointing back, and think about bringing your heart forward. Keep your chin lifted. So we're opening up our heart and again our shoulders. Carefully release down. I'm gonna have you just take a slow, like you're doing the backstroke here. Big circles around. If that bothers your shoulder for any reason, you can make that smaller, okay? If you ever find a sharp like stopping point. Don't try to work through it. Just modify, try something else. All right, so let's go to the other side. We'll take the right leg out long now and really walk it out, okay? And we're just letting that right foot come down about a 45-degree angle there. So we're grounded into that foot, not balancing on the heel. Inhale, let's reach overhead. We're gonna tilt away from that long leg. So the left hand comes onto your hip. Right arm is reaching long now. We're rotating to stay open. And let's carefully come up. We'll bring right hand down, left arm overhead, and again, just let yourself kind of start sliding down your right leg just so far as you can go with keeping that open rotation, looking towards the ceiling. Carefully come up, we'll float right back into that side angle. Give yourself some support to start. Let's reach, get long. This is where if you are going to take that core challenge, I want you to start just really consciously engaging through your midline, drawing in right here like you're pulling your ribs together. And let's reach that bottom arm forward. Stay with your breath. And arms parallel. Bring left hand back for support. Carefully come up, counter stretch. Come all the way over, reach the left arm overhead. Carefully, slowly slide down your right leg. And come on up. All right, so that was indeed a lot of kneeling. So we're gonna come down now and take a seat. It's up to you what you want to do, if you do have additional padding, but we are gonna be going the long way. So if you have 2 mats and you want the padding, I would just stack them so you have an even surface under you now, okay? And we'll take a seat. Let's start with extending our legs forward. We'll sit up nice and tall. Remove the flesh from under your sit bones here. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, take a forward fold. And just let your hands land where they do. We'll be here for several breaths, about half a minute. So you've got time to settle in and take this further if and when that feels right. And carefully come on up. So I'm actually going to have us go to a cross-legged seat here. And let's stay on the same side. I'll have you bring your right leg on the bottom, so bend your right leg first, and then bend your left, okay? So we're just in a comfortable seat. If that's uncomfortable for you, you could always sit up higher on something like a yoga block. You could even be in a chair if you'd prefer. So we're gonna kind of twist everything. We've got a human pretzel coming up. Let's reach up, bring arms open, and now bring right arm across the body, okay? Bring the left arm underneath it. So we're gonna gently pull with the left arm. We're feeling more opening through our shoulders again, this time through the back of the shoulders. You could stay right here, simple stretch. You could bring your hands into eagle arms, where you're bringing backs of hands together or clasping your hands. And then just slowly drawing your elbows up. All right, let's open up the arms. We're gonna keep stretching the right side. Take your right arm straight up. Bend your elbow, reach your hand like you were trying to reach between your shoulder blades. And I'm gonna show you cow face arms and then a couple options. So cow face arms is where you're taking your other hand and you're trying to bring your fingers together. That's a pretty big stretch. Most of us probably not gonna get there, but it's worth working at. And a way to work at that is here. So you would take your arm and your hand and you'd place it down on your elbow, and you're gently pressing, very gently pressing down on your elbow. And now I'm gonna use my head to push back into my right wrist. So we get that beautiful stretch here. Just not quite as deep as the cow face posture. Last breath here. Let's unwind. I'm going to have you just come into cactus arms for a moment. Let's take the left arm across, bring your right arm under. Start with that simple shoulder stretch. So we're just lightly pulling here. And if you'd like to come to eagle arms, you're bringing your elbows together. You can do back of hands together or reach around and clasp your hands. And then in eagle arms, you would just start bringing those elbows up. They're not going to come very far, but you'll start lifting your elbows. We'll unwind here. Let's open up the arms. Bring the left hand high. We'll bend the elbow here. So you've got the same options again. We're reaching our fingers towards that space between shoulder blades. Cow face arms, you'll try to bring fingertips together. Otherwise, take your right hand, place it on your elbow, gently press down. And then use your head to just press back lightly into your left wrist. Let's release, reach both arms high. Turn palms out, reach out, and release down. So let's switch our legs here. I know it might seem a little silly, but we're gonna just switch them around. So you'll bring the left on the bottom and the right over now. And we're gonna sit up nice and tall. Take a deep breath in, reach hands overhead. We'll take our twists here. Let's turn out to the left. You're bringing right hand across, the left hand behind. Sit tall, and then find some leverage to turn yourself into your twist, looking over your left shoulder. Let's release. We'll unwind, sit tall, reach high, passing through center. Bring left hand across, right hand behind. Sit tall and take your twist. Let's unwind. Let's place both hands onto our knees here. We'll just do a couple seated cat-cows and then we'll finish with just about a minute or two in our final relaxation. So inhaling, bring your heart forward, lift your chin, small forward hinge. Exhale, sit back, allow your spine to round, chin to chest. Inhale, gaze forward, bring your heart forward. Exhale, sit back. Find that space between your shoulder blades. And one more time, deep breath in. And let it out. Let's bring our feet onto the mat. Make sure you have room behind you. We're gonna lay back and take our final rest here. I want you to just very carefully, slowly come on down to the floor. Once your head and shoulders reach the mat, take a full body, stretch long from toes all the way up through fingertips. Let's hug knees in towards the chest. Give them a good squeeze here. And let's come to our final rest. Options for final rest. A Supta Baddha Konasana could be nice, so reclined bound angle here. You could also have just feet on the floor, knees bent. Or you could take traditional Savasana with legs extended, arms extended at sides, palms up. And Savasana is just a short amount of time that we finish our practice with allowing ourselves to remain present, remain on your mat, stay here in your breath for just another minute. Be at peace, be calm. Let's begin to invite small movements back into our body, wiggling fingers and toes. Take a conscious full breath in. Open your mouth and sigh it out. Let's bend the knees, bringing feet to the floor. Long reach through the arms, reach them overhead. And carefully roll onto one side, resting here for a moment. Let's come up, finding a comfortable seat. We'll end here with just a few more breaths together. Let's sit tall, long neck, set your shoulders down and back. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, completely release that used up breath. Deep breath in. And let it out. Thank you so much for sharing this practice with me today. The light and love in me recognizes the light and love in each of you. Namaste.